Welcome to our economics class where we're going to look at simple basic demand and supply and elasticity and government interventions and also how to plot equations, how to calculate elasticity. So to start with, you must understand that demand refers to the quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to buy over a given period of time. So what are some of the determinants of demand? We have key determinants of demand. What are some of the determinants of demand that we know of? Number one, we have price. Price is one of the key determinants of demand. So price has an inverse relationship with quantity demanded. As price increases, quantity demanded goes down. So this is what gives us what is called elasticity of demand. So demand refers to the quantity of a good or service that customers are willing and able to buy at different prices over a given time. So we have price, which has an inverse relationship. So the law simply stipulates that the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. The lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. So it is illustrated by this particular demand curve. P is equal to A minus BP. So this is how demand looks like. So the law simply stipulates that the higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. So this is how it looks like. Then demand is classified in three important regions. Number one, demand can be elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic. So between 0 and -1, we can say demand is inelastic. If it is at 1, it is unit elastic. If it is more than 1, it is what? Elastic. So we also look at another component that affects demand, which is income. Income can either be negative or positive. So if your income elasticity, so if you have a negative, it means this is an inferior good. If you have a positive, this means this is a normal good. But elasticity more than 1 on the normal good is called a luxury. So what have we said? Elasticity of income has two things, an inferior good and a normal good. If you get a negative, it's an inferior good. Simply means that if the income goes up, the quantity demanded will go down. It happens the opposite. Ideally, for a normal good, as the demand goes up, the income must also go up. But if the opposite is happening, it becomes an inferior good. Then we also have substitute the price of related goods. So for related goods, if the price of good A goes up and the demand for good B goes up, these are called what? Substitute goods. Then we also have complements. Complementary goods are goods that move hand in hand. So if the price of good A goes up and the demand for good B goes down, it means that these are complementing each other. The elasticity of the related goods is known to be what? Negative. So negative under related goods is a complement, and positive under related goods is a substitute good. So more to these, we will learn how to do the computations. All right. So how then do we sketch these equations? So there's what we call the direct demand equation, which can be given as follows. Q is equal to maybe 100 minus 5P. So to sketch this, you need to put the letters on one side. So when this one crosses over, it will be 5P will be side. So there's an invisible one there. So when you do this, you want to sketch these equations. So where will it cut the x and the q and the p axis? So 5 into 100, what do we get? 20. There's a 1 there. 1 into 100, we get 100. So this is what we call the intercepts. So with that, it will cut the p at 100, and the q will be the q at 100, and the p will be at 20. So here we have p, and here we have q. This is 0. Okay. Suppose we're given a supply. Supply is given by 10. Q is equal to 10 plus 2P. So when this one comes this side, it will be a positive. So Q minus 2P is equal to 10. So help me identify the intercept. Where is the intercept, the cutting point for Q, and where is the cutting point for P? How do we
Okay, ziko.
identify the cutting points? Here's the cutting point. So there's an invisible one there. 1 into 10 is 10. Negative 2 to 10 minus 5. So it will cut the P at negative 5, and the Q will be cut at 10. So this is how you sketch the two curves. Then the point at which demand meets supply is called the equilibrium. What is our demand? Our demand was 100 minus what? Minus 5P. And what was our supply? 10 minus 2P. 10 plus 2P. So when this one comes this side, it will be 100 minus 10. And this one will be 5 plus 2P. What do we get? 7 on the other side. So you make P subject. All right. So this will be our equilibrium. So here we're going to have 90 is equal to 7P. What is our P? We divide both sides by what? 7. So 90 divided by 7.
12.85.
12.85. So our P is 12.85. Then how do we find our Q? We substitute this in any of these. So That's 35.71. Q is what? 35.71. So this, it will be a P, 35.71, and our Q will be 12. In this graph here, area A is the area of a triangle, and area B is another area of a triangle. So this is a consumer surplus, and this is a producer surplus. So the total is what we call the total surplus. So I don't want to do this completely. I want us now to do the exam type of equation together so that we reduce on what I repeat on. So now it's your time to participate. So help me. How do we calculate the equilibrium price and quantity of this product? What do we do?
Okay, so we've been given the quantity and we have been given the equations for demand and supply. So demand is equal to supply. So we'll get the two equations and we'll get the two equations and put the like terms on the other side.
Right.
And the letters on the other side to find price.
So quantity demanded at equilibrium is what? Quantity supplied, right?
Right.
So our quantity demanded will be 300 minus what?
Minus 3p, which is equal to 100 plus 5p. So when we get the like, it will be 300 minus 100, which is equal to 5p plus 3p. So on our right, 300 minus 100, we'll get 200, then which is equal to 8p. So for us to find the price, we need to divide both sides by p. So 200, you divide by 8, that will be 25. So our price is 25.
How do you find the quantity?
We'll get we can say quantity demanded is equal to 300 minus 3. Then on P we replace it with 25, which we found as the price.
And what do we get?
225.
175, right? Is it? 225, yes. 225. So how do you sketch this? Somebody else? How do you sketch these two equations graphically? How do you sketch them graphically? Mwanga. How do you sketch this graphically?
I can attempt. Yeah, so the first one will be, we will put the like terms together. So it will be QD plus 3P equals 300. And then you do over. You then put an invisible one. And so it will now be 1 QD plus 3P over, equals 300. So now I'll do for quantity. 1 into 300, it will be 300.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 into 300, our price will be at 100.
Okay. Then you do the same for what? Supply. Who will take it up for supply? I would want participation here. So we'll put the letters on one side and the P will be negative 5P. All right, then the intercepts. What is the intercept for Q and for P? Take it up. So
Can I try?
Yes.
So in this equation you have written there is an invisible 1 in front of Q.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 into 100 into 1 into 100, that's 100.
Mm-hmm.
Then 100 into negative 5, that's negative 20.
Mm-hmm.
So our quantity will be, when we are sketching on the quantity, it will be 100, then on the price it will be negative 20.
Okay. So demand is easy. Supply will start from what? Where are they meeting? What was our equilibrium? So here we had 25, the price. And here we had what? Quantity 225. Okay. Now what are the intercepts for the demand? It is price is cutting on what?
100.
100. And quantity on 300. And here, price is on what? Negative 20, and price will go on what? 100. Okay. So now, what happens here? The first question, find the equilibrium, price and quantity. We found them here. The second one, suppose an increase in consumer income resulted into the new demand of this one here. So now you need to understand before I get to calculating this, that of the factors that affect demand, we have price, we have what? Price of that particular good X. Price of the related goods can be substitutes or complement. Income, we have advertising, we have expectations, population. So of these ones, only price causes a movement along the demand curve. The rest here will cause a shift, an increase in price of another good, an increase in income. So already, what would the increase in consumer income affect? So even if you're not, you don't know, there will be a movement to the right here. Okay. So this movement to the right, even if you were to sketch this one here, we're going to have Q, D, command plus 3P is equal to what? 420. So there's an invisible one on the what? On the Q. So 1 into 420 is 420. So Q add on the 420 here. Then also 3 into 430, going to get 120. 1 carry 1, 140. So what is the impact of the increase in our consumer income? So the consumer income will do what? Will cause a shift to the right. Point number 1. So this shift to the right will also increase our equilibrium price and will also increase our equilibrium quantity. So this is what happens when there's a what? There's a shift. All right? So at demand, the equilibrium, demand is equal to supply. So this demand will be equated to the old supply. So quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. Any questions so far? Are we understanding? So when you equate this, quantity demanded is what? 420 minus 3p. Then the quantity supplied, 100 plus what? 5p. Then here we're going to have this will subtract and have 320. This will add, going to have 8p. And 8p we divide on both sides. What are we going to have? P is equal to 40. So our initial equilibrium was 25, but now it increases to 40. Then also when you put the 40 in any of them, 100 minus, so 40 times 5, what is that? 200. 200 plus 100, that is 300. So equilibrium quantity, price is 40, equilibrium quantity is 300. So this is our new equilibrium here. All right. 300 for the quantity and 40 for the price. Are we following?
How did you get that 300?
The 300. So after getting this 40, are we okay on the 40 here?
I am, yes.
400 minus 100 is 320. This one is 8 divided by that 40. Then 300, you put it in any of them. So when you put a 40 here, the 40 times 50, 5 times 40 is what? 200. 200 plus 100 becomes 300. If you want, you can put a 40 here. 3 times 40 is 120. 120 from 420, you still get a 300. So it's equilibrium quantity. Is that clear?
Yes.
Are we together? Are we together? Susan, are we on the same page?
I still can't get it because I got the 300. I got quantity demanded. So when I get quantity demanded, it's
The 40.
300 minus yes, minus 3
You can't
multiplied
use
by
this.
40. So
You can't use this because the quantity demanded changed, okay, to this one here. So you
okay.
can use this one and this one, either of these two. You can either put it here or in this one here. A very good mistake to not to identify now, because the demand changed. This is a new demand, so you cannot use the old demand here. You would rather use the new demand or the old quantity. Is that clear?
It is now.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. Then also we go to suppose government enacts legislation on price ceiling on the original price using the equation there. What is the result of the legislation? Are you together? So government enacts laws that will protect either the consumer or the producer. They're what we call government interventions. So government can intervene to correct market failures, to stabilize prices, to protect consumers, and also protect producers. So we have what are called price controls. There's what is called a price ceiling, which is a maximum price, which is set below the equilibrium. It may cause a shortage. Example, we have rentals in Lusaka. A floor price is a minimum price that the government will set, which is usually above the equilibrium. This one usually causes what? A surplus. So examples of floor prices could be minimum wages. Okay, then we also have ways in which government will come, like taxes to increase the cost of production, so supply will shift to the left. We also have subsidies where government pays the producer to lower the cost of production, and quotas where government will limit the number of quantities produced. So now here, government decides to do what? To enact a legislation that will impose price ceiling. Okay, government tries to enact laws that will impose price ceiling equivalent to the original equilibrium price using our demand equation part one. What is the result of this legislation? So this legislation will have the following implication. Number one, if we're going to if the effect of price ceiling at the original, so if the government will decide to impose price ceiling at the original price, our equilibrium price was 25. So if you use the new equilibrium equation, QD is 420, and we use the old supply. So we can calculate the differences there. So if we find that there's more quantity demanded than the quantities supplied, so we're going to have a shortage. Okay? If the quantity demanded is more than the quantity supplied, there'll be a shortage. So government has done what? Has decided to enact legislation. We're going to use the original equilibrium price. Our original equilibrium price was 25. So let's put 25 in here and 25 in here. So when we put 25, what are we going to get? So when the demand is more than the supply, what do we call that? A shortage, right? How about when supply is more than demand? What do we call that?
Surplus.
A surplus, correct. So the government has decided to enact a law that the maximum price should be where? At 25. So this 25 here, when you do the computation, What do we get?
345.
Yes, we have 345. So when we put it in our quantity demanded, price is 25. Here we're going to put 345. When you put it on the supply, there is supply here, 25, we're going to get what? 225. So since quantity demanded is exceeding supply, there will be a shortage of what? 120 units. So this will cause a shortage. So you have equilibrium. Okay. If there is more demand than, so we're going to have a disequilibrium that may come around. So this is what we're talking about here. Okay. The next question is asking us, when changes in both quantity demand and supply occur simultaneously, it is more difficult to predict the effect on price and quantity demanded. Discuss the statements and illustrate using graphs for the scenarios. Number one, when there's an increase in demand and an increase in supply and an increase in both demand and supply. So what are the implications of that? All right. So the following is what happens. So when both demand and supply increase, when both supply and demand and when both changes in demand and supply occur simultaneously. So when you are predicting the price and the quantity, it becomes a little bit complex because the direction and magnitude of the shift will influence the outcome. So if the net effect depends on whether the changes are the same or in opposite direction. So we know that increase in demand will cause a shift to the right. Increase in supply will also cause a shift to the left, to the right. So the idea is, what is the effect if demand increased and supply increased? So if the magnitude is the same, it will even out. If demand increases more in the magnitude than supply, so we're going to have a shortage. All right. Then the other part is asking, if demand increases and supply decreases, what will happen? Demand increases and supply decreases, what will happen? Okay, so you can refer to the pamphlet questions. All right, so the price will definitely rise if demand increases and supply decreases, but the effect on quantity is ambiguous. Then if both demand and supply decrease, what will happen? The quantity demanded will also decrease. Okay, if demand decreases and supply increases, what will happen? The price will definitely fall. So these are the three implications that will happen. So we end here for now. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll share the video in the paid up group.